as has been happening over the past couple live streams, the number of questions that we've received has been way in excess of the allowable time. So we don't do any sales pitches or anything like that. It's 100% Q&A, and we just kind of do a hard stop after 1 hour. And I guess it's a testimony to how hungry people are for accurate information that we're just receiving so many requests. So as a result, what I decided to do is go through some of the questions that we didn't have a chance to cover in the live stream and not give a definitive answer, but speak to the main issues that you should consider as you decide the best way forward and you engage your preferred tax advisors. So if the heir lives in Spain, but the deceased lives in the US, would the heir be taxed in Spain? Or would the same rule apply where they be taxed under the rules of the deceased, i.e. the US? So, right. So again, this comes into cross-jurisdictional tax, estate planning. Very, very, very nuanced. You definitely need, from a planning point of view, you'd want to get cross-jurisdictional teams, because when you look at things in silos, one person might propose, or one team might propose a solution which works in one jurisdiction, but blind to the adverse impact it may have on another jurisdiction. So you definitely want to get a joined up approach from an estate planning point of view. So previously we've answered, or we've not answered questions, but we've explored questions around forced heirship. But, let's get to the crux of the matter. Taxes would apply. Spain has the ISD, which acts like an inheritance tax. The US has estate taxes, right? And neither of them are simple. They're specialized areas, and they're areas, given the nature of the matters being explored, they're very contentious. There's a lot of dispute and litigation around it. So you want to get it right, you want to get it planning right. Generally speaking, in the US, the estate tax is levied on the estate of the person that passes away. In Spain, the inheritance tax, or the ISD, is levied on the person who receives, or the inheritor, or the beneficiary. So that's something to keep in mind. So there are situations where someone is resident in one jurisdiction, the assets may be another, and it may be subject to double taxation. But there are agreements in place that would allow for some sort of offset. So, but again, just to minimize that, you want to be proactive and get that kind of settled and ironed out in the planning phase, rather than be reactionary after the fact, right? So you'd want to, that be one of the issues to look at. Is there any potential for double tax? And then, since the concepts of domicile tend to be extremely nuanced, you'd want to get clarity from counsels, as from your advisors, as to which jurisdictions are you exposed. So obviously, if you're tax residents in Spain, you're exposed. But then if you are not just tax resident, but you're a citizen of Spain, that may be an additional level of exposure, as opposed to if you were still domiciled in the US, even though you can be living outside of the US, but still be considered domiciled. So then you get the lifetime exclusion, which is pretty high, is $12-13 million right now. But of course, in 2025, 26 is going to go back down to 5 million or whatever it may be. So there are a lot of moving pieces here. So, but the point is, there is a potential for unnecessary complexity and to be unnecessarily taxed. And the way around that is to get this sorted out in the planning phase. But in the scenario where you discuss, which you outlined, where the assets lie in the US, so the US citus assets, you didn't specify what they are, but the US citus assets, and the person that benefits from them, the person who's inheriting them, they are based in Spain, then yes, you can be looking at taxation in both jurisdictions. So again, just stepping back as part of the pre-immigration planning process, you're not just looking at the logistics or the immigration side, but you're looking at the tax side, you're looking at the estate planning side, you're looking at the probate asset protection, you're looking at the cross-jurisdictional consequences of moving from one place to another, or being resident in multiple jurisdictions, because many of our clients are indeed resident in multiple jurisdictions. I'm resident in multiple jurisdictions, chances are you are as well. So don't wait for the unfortunate situations to occur. Definitely seek advice in advance. Hope that helps, Anthony.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.